Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at FreshBooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, wait, we have a show. You'll listen to Tech News Weekly on the GFQ Network. I'm Andrew Zarian, joined by Suncast.
How's it going?
I forgot for a second.
You forgot? How did you forget?
I wish there was...
Is there still something going through your system?
Yeah. For people
affecting your mind?
I'm still a little woozy after that experience. For people who don't know what we're talking about, you go to our website, guysfromqueens.com, and listen to the last episode of the Andrew Zarian Show, where I explain everything. But this is a family-friendly show.
You could even just go to YouTube. I posted a short little 5-minute clip that kind of explains it all.
Yeah. Actually, you could go to youtube.com/guysfromqueens and get what we're talking about. Because a lot went on last week in my life. Something I'll never get back. I feel like I was abused. I really do. I feel like I'm all screwed up. But this is Tech News Weekly, where we run down not all the main stories, but some of the main stories that we find interesting that happened during the week. And you know what, John? It was a interesting week.
It sure was.
A lot of stuff happened, actually.
And it started out slow, but then we really got some interesting pieces of news.
Yeah. I want to go right into the news, but before we do, I want to thank our sponsor, Hover.com. Domain names made simple. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. No upsell, no emails, no threats that they're going to delete your account, unlike those other guys. These guys are straightforward. You buy the domain, you get it out of the way, and that's it. You enjoy your website. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. That's hover.com. So, Suncast, let's... Actually, before we go into it, I was talking to Uber in our room, a loyal viewer of ours, and he's a big Linux guy.
Yeah, we started to have a conversation on Linux.
I am building my a Linux box, and I haven't in a long time. And people ask me, like, oh, do you use Linux? I'm like, I have used Linux. I know there's been massive improvements over the last decade
since
in
you
Linux.
used it.
Red Hat 8. Red Hat, I think it was Red Hat 8. I don't know if it was Red Hat 9 or Red Hat 8. Let me see the year.
That's a long time ago.
Red Hat 8 came out in... when did it come out? No, it was 8. Because this is... Yeah, version 8.
Red Hat 8 has been around for a long time, at least the 90s.
Oh,
not earlier.
Yeah, I'm talking late 90s.
Yeah.
I'm discussing late 90s for Red Hat.
Yeah, and that was even before they forked it to Fedora.
Yeah, and then Fedora is now the one. But I'm going to be building one for fun, just to play around, just so I can learn it, because a lot of our viewers are Linux fans, and that is one thing they complain about. They say, you don't really discuss a lot of Linux stuff, and the reason why I don't is because I don't really use it. Red Hat, I believe it was no, you know what? It wasn't 8. It was 7. The last version I used was 7 because this is 2000, so it was in 2000. Red Hat 7 was the last Linux that I used. I did try other ones. Like, I did try Windows, and I did try Ubuntu at one point, like the early stages of Ubuntu.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other distros, like the ones that you don't have to necessarily install. But those are never really, great. So I do want to play around with it, and I do want to install it just so I could get the hang of it. And I have so many machines here. I thought it would be cool just to build something.
Why not?
And you know what I was thinking?
You can become a Linux admin.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe for like a file server.
Well, you can do that with any operating system these days.
But at least I could use it,
Yeah.
Let's just go into a couple stories here. Netflix, the big story. A lot of people are in an uproar over the Netflix price increase that we are learning about that is coming in September.
Yeah, isn't that a little bit crazy? Netflix decided that they're going to change their pricing structure, actually separate two of their plans. Originally, what they had is a $9.99 plan that included both streaming and DVD rentals that you get in the mail. And now they've actually separated it out into two separate plans for $7.99 each. And then you can actually get them combined for like $15.98. And people are now complaining that they don't like the 40% increase in price to have both of them combined.
Well, listen, they have said in the past that they will be eliminating the DVD mail portion, business of Netflix. They will be eliminating that in the future, and this is their way of kind of forcing everybody to, kind of do the streaming thing, and they make more money with the streaming than they would with the DVD rentals.
Yeah, I'm just surprised at how big the backlash is, and yes,
and by the way, let me correct myself. In the future, I'm not talking about right now. I don't know the exact breakdown of DVD subscribers, but in the future, I mean that's going to be their bread and butter, the content streaming.
Yeah, I don't think people are quite looking at the larger picture here. I do agree with many people that the price increase kind of sucks, but at the same time, there's still several pros. Pro is it's still one of the cheapest options around. Yeah. It's even cheaper if you're only doing a DVD or a streaming only plan.
Well, no commercials. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. Hulu has ads. They're reliable. They're consistent, and they have great stuff on there. So
I mean, if you're just doing streaming only, you're saving it $2 just doing it now.
So I think I'm paying like $12.99 a month for mine right now. Mm-hmm. They're saying it's going to be split into $7.99, so it's going to be about $16 to get both the DVDs and the live streaming. I haven't ordered a DVD in about a year, and I'm still paying for it. Like I've just forgotten to change my plan.
Yeah, so if you were to go to the streaming plan, you'd actually save money.
I would save money. Yeah, absolutely. I would save money. I don't know. People are going to complain, of course, because it is a price increase, but it is business. They have to, and
yeah, I think
they have to
you
make
and
money.
I agree that a lot of this is just business. It's the business that we're in, and we understand that, and we can see both sides of the story here, where consumers are upset. Yeah, we understand that, but we also understand the business side of this, where the increase in the pricing structure change was kind of necessary for Netflix.
One of the arguments.
One of the things that exacerbated it, though, is just that they didn't really give anybody any warning that they were going to do this.
Yeah. I mean, well, this is the warning, right? September. They're not doing it overnight.
Yeah, the cutoff date when you actually will be forced to choose a plan is September 1st.
Here's how I see it. As the company grows, a lot of people, and this is part of the argument, they're saying about 4,000 responses to the announcement, and a lot of people said, well, you're growing so much, you're saying you have this much growth and that much growth, and what did they say? 41%, two servers reading to two separate websites found that as much as 41% of subscribers plan to discontinue their accounts completely in protest. Now that's BS. I don't believe that.
Yeah, to me that's a shocking number, and I'm like,
that's
really?
Way too high of a number. Most people don't even know. I guarantee most people will not even be aware that they are.
A month and a half from now, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, some probably will, but I think many people will be like, that actually means canceling my plan.
Yeah. But listen, the company's growing, and they need to grow, and they need to build infrastructure, and they need to raise money for this, and this is how they do it, and I don't find anything wrong with it.
Yeah, one of the
still cheap
arguments,
$16, and you're getting all this content. It's still cheap.
Yeah, one of the complaints that consumers are making are like, well, Netflix is just like any other cable company now raising their prices. To a degree, they're right, but also to another point, Netflix is still pretty dang cheap. They're not up there with the same cost as cable companies are. They're still a cost effective, I think is what I'm trying to say, alternative to cable.
Listen, I'm paying for my cable. I pay almost $300 a month for my cable and internet and phone. I
Yeah,
was
but
talking
you have
to,
FiOS and
we have
crazy
FiOS.
plan.
Yeah, we have a crazy plan.
You're not an ordinary person.
But I mean, it has to be. Let's say I'm an ordinary person. I have 2 cable boxes and HD, and I have HD cable and internet. I'm paying like $170 a month.
I pay about 160.
Okay, so
and
160.
I don't even have HD.
Okay, let's say 160 with HD.
Isn't that a little much though?
That is a lot.
Between all your cable boxes, the service, and then the internet. It's a little much to be paying $160 every month for a service like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for cable, but you do have local news, and that is your only option now.
Cable on my actual internet plan is only like $50 a month, which is
it's all cable you're paying.
That's not bad, but $120 or $110 of that is actually cable. Why is it so expensive? It's like, can't we do anything to get the costs down? Why is it so expensive?
I don't know. Because they want to make money. I have no idea. But today I was discussing with Jess that I want to cut something because this is insane and we don't watch TV. We rarely watch TV. And
do you anything that you watch? Do you normally just watch it on the internet or?
What do I watch? Let me see what I watch. I watch Morgan Freeman's In and Through the Wormhole. Or In the Wormhole, which is on Science
Through
HD.
the Wormhole.
Yeah, Through the Wormhole, which is, you want a box. You want to go through the wormhole. Jessica is signaling to me. What do you need? You want the iPad. You may not have the iPad because I need to do a demo with it. I am doing a show right now. No, you may not have my iPad. No, leave the iPad alone. She doesn't understand. She doesn't care. She doesn't care at all.
That doesn't surprise me.
She's literally crawling on the floor to undo the laptop in the studio so she could take it with her. She's literally crawling.
Well, you were pretty mean to her last night with the wine cooler.
She took it from me. So,
yeah.
But listen, if you want to get Netflix, then you could get Hulu. And if Netflix is $20, let's round it. Let's say $40, you get everything. And maybe you get like a Roku box, which is $79 and it's free. You have everything you could imagine. You really could cut the cord at this point.
Yeah.
And Amazon Prime. If you're a Prime member, you get free movies and whatever they have.
I used Amazon Prime a couple of weeks ago, and it's pretty good.
I can't get it to work on my my Google TV for whatever reason. But listen, you can cut the cord. It's just preference now. I think a lot of people. What's holding a lot of people back is that they're so used to having cable, and they want to have local news and they want to have live content, and that's still lacking when it comes to these, set-top boxes and when it comes to Hulu.
Yeah, and my
other
argument in cutting the cord is that there's just part of it is what you just said is that there's certain shows you just can't get. The other thing is I have content on my computer that I download. How do I get that on my TV?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, how do I get it on my TV? I have it downloaded to my computer. How do I get it to my TV?
Well, if you have, there are tons. Like you're talking. Let's say you have Amazing Race on your computer, right?
Yeah, I download it,
and you want to watch it on your
API
TV.
file.
Okay, yeah. Let's say you want to watch it on your TV. There are add-ons. There are services out there. So if you have an Xbox, you have a PlayStation, you have a Wii, you have an Xbox 360.
So then I would have to get one of those things.
You get one of those, or you could have an Apple TV, or you could have a Boxee, or you could build one. You could build your own Boxee, put it on, and it's like a file server, and you could just access the network.
Yeah,
I mean there are ways around it. The issue with this
they just don't make it as easy as I'd like,
Yeah, that's the thing, and the issue is you and I could figure it out, and most of the people in our chat room could figure it out, but it's still extremely complicated for someone that does not know that they can do this. It's not straightforward.
Yeah, it's finding something that you would have to connect to your TV, and to me still, I don't think it's all that practical yet.
Since we're talking about Xbox, I want to go into the story, and I was one of the main.
You're kind of excited about this too.
I am, and I jumped to it, and I spoke to Paul Thurrott about this little name drop there, by the way, and I was like a child when messaging him about this and sending him emails. Xbox 360 pops up in Windows 8 code, console game compatibility coming to the PC, ? This was a huge story early on in the week. And I don't really fall for these stories, but if it's something I really like or really would like to see, I kind of fall for it, and I kind of fell for the story. It's to me right now, it's a little too good to be true, but it is possible. Since the consoles in the early 2000s started coming out, people started speculating, well, why can't we play these games on a computer? It's a CD, it's a DVD. What's the big deal? Just pop it in and have it supported. There were ways around it with the original PlayStation. I believe with the PlayStation 2, there were like emulator software that you ran and you could put the CD in and you could play it. It wasn't good, but you could still play it. And now they're saying that the code, where is it? What is the actual kernel code? Xbox _360 system crash showed up in the Windows 8 code. Now, what the hell does this mean? Who knows? But it is a little bit odd. It is a little bit odd to show up in the software that's not designed to run on a 360 power PC CPU.
Well, this is kind of what I think Microsoft has been pushing for Windows in the last few months with their marketing and saying with Windows 8, we want to make Windows 8 something that can run on everything. Windows 8 is an operating system that runs on mobile devices, computers, PCs, guides, entertainment guides, Xbox, and everything else in between.
Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the thing. This is an ultimate fantasy for gamers, right? I wish I could play this on my computer. It looks great on my Xbox. That's running a 700 megahertz power PC CPU that's outdated at this point. Imagine what it would look like on my, Intel i7. The odds are it's not going to be what everybody imagined it would be. It probably won't. And this is my speculation. I don't know anything about this. I don't know any inside information. This is just my guess. I think what they're going to do, they're going to allow live to the live content that you could download on the Xbox 360. I think they're going to have that backwards compatible with the PC. So live is going to be on the PC, and you're going to be able to download certain games and play that on both. You can do this. You can do this to some level with the PS3 and Steam. So if you have the game on your PC and you have Steam and you're playing the game, you could actually pick up and play on the where you left off on the PS3. So it is kind of backwards compatible.
It's transitioning from console to computers and using a keyboard instead of a remote control when I'm gaming.
Yeah. So I think this is their plan of moving everything over and making everything one unit, but I still cannot believe that they would move everything so you buy an Xbox 360 game and you just play it on the computer. That would kind of eliminate the purpose of the console, wouldn't it? Because
maybe
people buy the console to play the game, so if you don't need to buy the console to play a game, why would you buy the console? To a lot, I mean, this is what a lot of people would think. I would love to see it. I think it's great. It's another way to bring everything into one device, but I don't see it working.
That would be pretty smart, wouldn't it, to be able to have a gaming industry out there that didn't necessarily rely on a console?
Yeah, but they've tried this. Do we remember the Phantom device, and do we remember even OnPlay?
Oh no,
on Live. A Phantom was like a fake device that came out, and they were trying to push out where it was one device that played console and PC games, or played PC games as a console. And the device never took off. But this was also another issue. These games are coded for a Power PC CPU. Where's the backwards compatibility? How are you going to do this unless it has some weird code? I mean, it is possible to put a piece of code in there, but I don't see it happening. I think what they're going to do, they're going to incorporate the live content on your Windows 8 machine. So you could have Xbox Live, and you could have select games that you could download and play and also play on the console. I'll give you one example.
I'm just thinking, in theory, it would be nice to be able to take any Xbox game, put it on, and throw it into your computer and play it.
It would be,
because then you're turning any Windows computer into an Xbox console.
Yes, but as a business, you do not want to do that, because now there are going to be many people, not all, that say, well, why do I want to buy the console? I could just buy the games and play it on my computer. Also, here's another thing. You cannot support... how are you going to support every type of computer? So every dummy that buys this and wants to play it on...
that's the same thing goes with hardware, though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not one piece of hardware.
You can't have hardware that's workable for every single computer out there. It's just not possible.
But look at it like this. So now you're Microsoft, right? and every teenager buys Halo, and every let's say all these teenagers that don't have an Xbox 360 buy Halo. I'm just giving an example. And they want to play it on their computer. And they start running into all these problems. Compatibility with the controller, compatibility with the hardware, compatibility with the CPU. It's going to be
maybe that is an
disaster.
incentive then to buy the console.
It is, exactly. But I think it's going to be a disaster in the end. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Windows 8 is turning out to be extremely interesting. And Ballmer, he's really adamant on not making two separate pieces of software for the tablet. He honestly feels that this is a solution for a tablet. And I'm really, really, really curious to see it, and I cannot wait for the beta to come out so I can try this thing. The only thing I'm a little concerned with is that it won't be as lightweight as 7. And from
I'm concerned all around, but I'm still holding my judgment until
you try it out.
It's final. Yeah. Until it's final. Even in the beta, there can still be tons of issues that make it unusable.
I'm just concerned that it'll be because 7 was so light. You know what I mean? It's a light OS compared to Vista.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as light as XP, but it is much lighter than Vista. When you go into 8 and it is this redesign of the UI and it is a new turn, there are going to be a lot of hiccups. And all these people that are running it on...
Yeah, and that's just going to take time, I think, for people to adjust to. When you have a major change like that with the way things work, things look, things operate, things function, it takes time to adjust to that, which is why I'm still holding out my judgment. I mean, there's certain things that, initially, right off the bat, I might not like. But then until you try it, until you adjust to it, you might, have a different opinion.
By the way, I had a very disappointing week because I honestly thought and believed every website that I read that said Lion is coming out on the 14th, and there was no Lion, and that was my pick of the week. And I'm extremely, extremely upset right now that they didn't put it out. But, some of the rumors were that they did not release it because Spotify launched in the U.S. Those were some of the rumors. They said they're waiting for another week to go, so they're not overtaken by Spotify.
No, Apple doesn't care about that.
Apple
does what Apple does.
So, okay, I'm going to be honest, and I never do this on the show. I don't have...
You're really going to be honest now?
I am. I really don't have... Before? I've never been honest before. This is the first time I'm being honest. I am not that interested in Spotify, and I know so many people are going crazy for this thing. People are really
it's a cool
excited.
Service.
Okay, so tell me about it. Explain it to me.
Spotify is basically billed as the end-all of music services, where you can search and find and listen to any song, period, that you can think of. Stream it on your computer, stream it to a mobile device, whatever you like. That's what Spotify is supposed to be.
So it's pretty much, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is it the same as Google Music and Amazon's cloud music store? And what iCloud will be?
I think it has some differences in the sense that they do have a free version, and this free version lets you listen to basically any song you want. I mean, you download a desktop client for Spotify, and the free version you have ads and whatnot, but you can basically look and listen to any song that you want. Whereas if you pay, another $4.99, you can get an unlimited plan that you can listen to unlimited songs and have ad-free experience. Then if you pay another $5, $9.99 a month, you'll be able to expand that to any mobile device that you have.
Okay. Have you tried it?
Me? No, not personally.
Okay, so right now the invites are pretty scarce, but if you've signed up, you could get it. You don't need to wait for an invite if you want to pay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to get it, and I was thinking about.
I've heard great things about it. I mean,
me too. I mean, some people love it.
That led up to this that's kind of negative is the fact that they've delayed this for so long. They've delayed this for months, and it's just like, oh yeah, well, it's now finally available in the U.S. and now it's kind of diminished because we do have iCloud, Google Music, Amazon Music. So you already have. So it's now launching in a market that has some serious competitors in it as far as streaming music is concerned.
Okay. Do you think it'll do well just based on its name, or do you think people are actually gonna,
I think it's too early to tell. I mean, I think there's good things about it. I think there's possibly some bad things about it. I think it's overall good service, but again, it's something that only time will tell whether or not people will be into it, because it's too early, because everything is so invite only now these days that so few people have it. It's just whatever the blogs are saying.
Yeah.
Those are the only people that have it. So you can't necessarily take
I know someone
them at their
I know
word.
someone that went to buy it. I did not get the information of what they think, but I know someone that did buy it. So
And
I
what
don't
did
know.
they think?
Huh? They
you don't
love
know
it.
what they
They
thought?
love it, but they're really into this stuff. Like they've been talking about Spotify for months to me, and how great it is and how amazing it is. And I don't know. I don't know why I'm not that interested. And I'm always interested in these things, but I'm not really.
Yeah, I
going
mean, it
crazy
has
for
a lot of things going for it, but at the same time, it had such a delayed launch that it's now competing with several other similar music services.
Yeah.
So there's just no way that it's going to be the attention grabber that it was like when it launched in the UK, and there weren't as many services that did the same thing.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm hopeful. I'm
I do
I'm
like
gonna
the fact
try.
that they have a free version. I mean,
Yeah.
that to me is a big deal, that they at least have a free ad-supported version, maybe limited, but it's something that you can at least go and try.
Did you see the new player for YouTube?
The Cosmic Panda.
No, the new player, just the player.
I've been running Cosmic Panda, so I don't know if I've noticed any difference, because I'm already using a new player, a new look.
Okay.
Does the user
It's
interface
black.
for it look kind of dark now?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, it's black.
Yeah, to me, that's just the same thing as what I was already using with Cosmic Panda.
Okay. Because I'm looking at it and it's not that bad. Somebody just messaged me and said if you've used it, they were asking. So I don't know. Go into the next story. And then,
I
and
kind
then
of
we'll
want to
do
talk
picks.
about this woman that is suing a man over Facebook because they had a relationship.
We're gonna
a
start seeing
cyber
a lot of this.
relationship.
We're gonna start seeing a ton of this.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Here's the thing, okay? And I'm gonna be extremely frank, and I know it'll upset someone. It is not a relationship if you have not met them, and you
Yes,
don't know who you're talking to.
exactly.
It is not a relationship. You can. I would not be. You could build a friendship, but a intimate relationship does not exist over the internet, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a strange story. Because basically, this woman that actually only lives about 15 minutes away from me.
Oh, really?
That's the funny part. I mean, she's from Livonia, Michigan, which is not that far from me at all. She met a man playing Mafia Wars on Facebook, and this guy lives over in Washington. And I guess she spent several $1,000s. She spent $1,200 on gifts for him, including a digital camera and tickets to the Seattle Mariners home opener. I'm like, you've never met this guy. You're unemployed, and you're spending $1,200 on gifts for the guy.
Unbelievable.
That's a little bizarre to me. If you've never met him and you've only known him for a month or two, why are you spending that much money on him?
Yeah. See that's.
The guy is like 1,500 miles away. You have no idea what he's really like.
Well, listen, people are out of their minds, right?
So now she's suing the guy for damages to reclaim the money that she spent on the gifts. And apparently this guy said, a week before they were actually supposed to meet in person, that he met another girl and that they're happy together and that he's going to ruin their relationship. Posted on started a Facebook group and posted like 300 of their friends saying all sorts of crap about this woman. And that's, I guess, the basis for why she's suing for
it's defamation.
$8,500 now.
Yeah, it's defamation.
Which
You can't
it
do that.
might be she might have a point there,
She
but at the
does.
same time, it's the internet.
Let me ask you: do you think people should be held accountable for what they do online when they they do things like this and they go on and they start saying horrible things about people? Do you feel
I
that they
think
should be
there's a
held
line.
accountable?
See, this is where you're getting into the area of free speech and what is allowed under free speech. And this is something hard to litigate, period, whether it happens in person or not. Litigating free speech is so tough that you're almost not going to win because it's free speech. You can almost say anything. You can get charged for harassment and stuff like that, but you're still entitled to say those things.
Where does it end? You know what I mean? Like, do I go online and I start bashing you and I say, Suncast did this and Suncast did that?
You can say that. There's certain lines that you can and can't cross, I think. When it becomes harassment and you start actually making threats against somebody, that's when it crosses the line between free speech and not being free speech. There was another case here a year or two ago where this woman was taunting this sick little girl over the internet.
That. Yeah.
I think you might have heard this. There was this girl that was like 7 years old. She had cancer. She was terminally ill. And this stupid freaking woman is on the internet posting bad stuff and threatening this family, saying, "Oh, I'm so glad your girl is sick and going to die, and I hope she dies real soon." Like,
here's
that's
the thing.
taking it too far.
People are mentally ill. And I think the internet allows them to have this anonymity and this imaginary wall around them where they don't need to disguise themselves. They feel the need that they can disguise themselves and be a out of mind person. They could be a crazy person. I think it's disgusting, and there's really not much that we could really do. But this is just how it is, and the crazies come out. I can't begin to tell you how many...
The internet kind of fosters that sort of free speech environment.
I can't begin to tell you how many emails I get about Jessica and things people want to do to Jessica, and I mean, just discussing stuff. But it's part of what it is, and people feel that they can do it. They can.
And to a degree, they can. It's like I said, it's free speech. Where's the line where it becomes free speech and it's not free speech?
Yeah.
Where's that line?
I don't know. I think free speech is a wall that people hide behind when they're acting like a-holes sometimes. I thank God for free speech because I can do what I want to do and I can say certain things, but I also know where to draw the line when it comes to free speech.
You have more common sense and morals than maybe other people do.
Yeah, I mean, I act like a decent person. I mean, we joke, and depending on the show, and some, we have outrageous shows, but I still feel that we're all decent people, and we know where the line is, and not everything that we do should be taken, literally, because it is a show. Now, certain people can't understand that, and they feel that it is everything that we say is literal, and they take it as a different literally. We are literally so pretentious. We say literally, even though we live in New York. But pretty much censor yourself. That's what I say. Pretty much. Yeah.
I want to make two more quick points
on
this
Go ahead.
Facebook story. First is that she gave these items as a gift, so it's a gift. You're going to be an Indian giver and ask for them back. That's wrong. And the second thing is, this guy is Washington, and basically his lawyer is saying that there's no jurisdiction here. She can't sue because he's actually in a completely different state. So I don't think she even has a little bit of a case here.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, though. I want to go, before we do our picks of the week, I want to go into the Microsoft Store expansion. Now, this is interesting. Microsoft Store started popping up 2009, I believe, so a couple of years ago. They are saying that they're going to have about 86 stores by 2014. They're really expanding the Microsoft Store. This is courtesy of VentureBeat.com. I'm looking at a graph, and they're showing that they're plan to expanding this Microsoft Store type environment and make it much like competing with the Apple Store. But this is the thing. Microsoft does not make hardware per se. They don't make specific computers. And I'm curious to see if this is their entry into hardware when it comes to computers.
That's a good question, whether or not they're actually going to try to more hardware. I think.
I mean, what makes them so different from Best Buy? You know, that's what I'm thinking.
It doesn't.
I
Well,
don't-
let me put it in this terms. There's a store here that's for BlackBerry only. They're not a carrier though. They're just a cell phone manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
And normally you see carrier stores, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, rather than a store that's specifically for the manufacturer of a phone.
Okay.
And now you kind of have the similar thing where you kind of have Microsoft. They make software for the most part. And they're actually going to have a physical store location.
Yeah.
How's that going to actually work? I
I
don't
don't
really
know.
know if there's even any in the U.S. right now. Are
What?
there? Do you know?
The BlackBerry store?
No. The Microsoft stores.
Yes.
There's only a handful, I think.
A handful,
right now.
very, very little. I mean, they did a trial, and I guess the trial worked, but they're planning on opening up 75 within the next 3 years. So I think they have about 10 of them right now. Of course, Microsoft is chasing Apple, which has more than 320 stores, including 86 abroad. Microsoft actually was once ahead of Apple on the retail front, opening its first retail store in 1999 in San Francisco. But Microsoft abandoned the effort, shutting down the store a little more than 2 years after the opening. This is their way of competing with Apple. But Microsoft is everywhere. I mean, with Apple, you kind of need to go to an Apple store to deal with Apple. I know there are other stores out there, and I know there are other online retailers out there that do sell Apple, but for the most part, you kind of want to buy it from Apple.
Yes.
I bought it from the one I just got. I got it
Best
from
Buy
Apple.
didn't even used to carry Apple products.
Yeah,
for a
now
long
they do.
time,
Yeah,
until recently, until
yeah.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I bought my first Mac at Best Buy, and I regret buying it at Best Buy, so I bought it from the Apple store. But do we need a Microsoft store, and will this be successful? I hope, because it's just another...
I think if anybody could pull this off, I think it would take somebody the size of Microsoft to pull it off.
Yeah.
Historically, if you're looking at other similar storefronts, you have Nokia and Palm that have tried to do these sort of things before, and now with very much success. And the same can be really said for the BlackBerry store. There's really only, I think, that one. I think there might be one other, but it might have shut down. So there's really only that one BlackBerry store.
Yeah.
So it's not really something that
These are big moves.
necessarily does well.
These are big moves, and this is Microsoft's attempt at eliminating that stigma that they have where they are the new IBM. You know, they've become IBM, and they're nothing like IBM. Nothing at all. IBM did not have it's interesting because IBM was being phased out as the PC maker when in the 90s. I mean, they weren't this prominent PC, this computer maker. I had an IBM Aptiva, I had an IBM Stealth, I had a couple IBMs, and they stopped, and the ThinkPads, but they've exited out of that. They are not going to become IBM because they don't make hardware, they make software, and they're so dominant with their software. I cannot see them becoming IBM 40 years, anywhere down the line. I mean, 50 years from now, maybe they could be an IBM. Become all enterprise. I highly doubt.
Well, considering that IBM's been around for 100 years.
Yeah, IBM is like it's an ancient company, but
a company that's only been around 30 versus 100.
Yeah, but this is their way of kind of saying, listen, we're not IBM. We're not this old, boring company. We control the gaming market. We want to get into retail. We have this hip OS that we're releasing that's, very unique and very original.
I think they look at it as another way to push their brand and possibly make some money doing so.
But I went on the IBM thing because I'm reading a blogger that's discussing this, and I don't want to say who the blogger is. And they go on and saying, well, oh, yeah, Microsoft is not relevant anymore. And Microsoft, I guess, in the 90s was that cool company.
Are you kidding me?
And I'm thinking, Microsoft was cool in the 90s? Are you kidding me? With what? Excel and spreadsheets? What a stupid thing to say. Really, I mean, Microsoft has been more of a good, I guess, like a good guy in the last, decade than in the 90s. So it's so irresponsible, some of these people. It really is. It really is. Some of these things that people say. It's like when they say, the mouse is dead. It's the end of the laptop. It's the end of the laptop. The laptop is dead. The tablet, it's the tablet age,
Netbooks.
Netbooks. It's over for netbooks. It's never over for laptop. Well, I read an article saying the desktop is dead. And that was the article. The desktop is dead. And I was
Are
thinking,
you sure about that?
and I said, okay, how about for the person that wants a powerful computer? How about that? No. Nobody
wants a powerful computer and doesn't want to spend $2,000 to do it.
It's just amazing what people say. And I'm not going to name names because, and you could, if you Google some of the ridiculous titles, you could figure it out. But when the iPad came out, a lot of these Apple journalists, the big ones, said it's the death of the laptop. It's over for laptops. There's no reason why you should ever buy a laptop again. And I said, okay, I guess you know better than me. It's over. Let's do our picks of the week. What do you think?
Sure.
I have a really good pick. I have a really good pick.
You're excited about this.
I am actually. I'm quite excited.
Did you get your iPad back for it?
What? Yeah.
Did you get your iPad back?
I did. I didn't let her take it. Actually, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out because they do have an iPad. Why don't you go first? Because mine might take a little while.
All right. Well, my pick this week is for Mailinator. A lot of times when you're like me and I'm going out there, I'm looking for new applications for picks of the week or services. A lot of times you need to provide your information to make an account, download it. You have to provide an email address, and a lot of times you don't know who you're really dealing with. And a lot of times, if I'm just going to look and demo a service that I've never used before, I may decide that I don't like it and I don't want them to have my information anymore. Yeah. And it can be a real pain to get them to delete your account information. One of the ways you can kind of get around that, though, is to use one of these services that lets you create a fake email so that you just give them your fake email and they don't necessarily have your email address that they can spam or anything. I use Mailinator a lot of times for this, mailinator.com, and basically you just use any email address you want at mailinator.com, and it'll create a fake email account on their system for you so that when you sign up, you just give them this is not my real email this is not my real email at mailinator.com, and you can check your inbox there. You just type in this is not my real email, and you'll get that confirmation email that you're looking for. Pretty cool. I like it, and it's mailinator.com.
That's cool. My pick, let's see here. How am I going to do this? So I've done a couple of VoIP apps for the phone. This one seems to be the one. It's called Line2, line2.com. It's the ultimate iPad, iPhone, and Android accessory phone number. So it's a VoIP phone number. I have a little video. I have it on the iPod Touch, but they also have it for the iPad. That's coming out about 12 days. I can play a little video if you guys want to demo it. Let's see here. I think the video will do a better job, but this is showing it on the iPad, and it's pretty much a phone line on the iPad, and it does a ton of things. I'm going to look at the plan. You could do local phone transfer, so you could transfer a number, visual voicemail, conference calling up to 20 people, mobile applications on the iPad and Android, tri-mode, so you could have it on Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, or cellular. So, just to show
can you receive actual phone calls from people on it?
Yes. And then you also have a unlimited U.S. and Canada calling. You could also get an 800 and 888 number, a virtual receptionist that answers your calls and determines who's calling you, auto attendant, create custom messages for certain people, Line2 contact manager, so it organizes your contact, computer soft phone, so you can make the calls from your PC or Mac, desktop sharing, internet fax, and a really low price. I believe they start at $9.95. I have it on the iPhone here, so iPod Touch. So I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's actually really, really cool, and I'm surprised how good it works. So this is the interface, very simple. So let's. I'm gonna call my cell phone. Actually, you know what? Let me see. So nobody can see my number. I'm not gonna put it up, but it's. That's interesting. It is. Somebody made a boo-boo with their phone number. I've been forwarding my phone number to the house. That's weird. Okay, so now I'm calling it. It says calling phone. I don't know why it says my home number though. That's the weird part.
Huh.
So I guess it thinks like that's the contact number. So here it's calling me and I could answer the call. And it's just like a regular phone. And I have the trial, so you could use it with the trial, but it's actually really, really good. And I made a couple phone calls earlier with it, and it was unbelievable. Like, it's super clear. It works great. You could also do SMS messaging, call forwarding, call transfer, call waiting, caller ID. So it pretty much is everything.
It sounds like a full-blown phone service.
It's a full-blown phone service on your phone, on your iPod Touch. Now, you can do Skype, but this is more of a phone rather than a chat client that does calls. You know, this is pretty much just like a phone line, like a VoIP phone line. And it's called Line 2.
Can you use it and just use it for free with other people that have a Line 2 account?
No.
Or do you actually have to pay them?
You got to pay them. And I have the free trial. I mean, $9.99 a month, you're getting pretty much everything except the 800 number. $14.95 a month, you get the 800 number.
Okay.
So it's free inbound minutes. So if people call the 800 number, it's totally free. I really like it, and I was surprised when I found it. Now, it coming out for the iPad, it's going to have a lot of really interesting features with the iPad. It's almost going to be this hub to do the phone calls and everything else. It's really cool, and I'm going to try it out for the iPad. It's just coming out in 12 days for the iPad, and it's called Line 2. And I'll do a demo when it comes out for the iPad. But I do want an 800 number. That's the thing. I am looking for an 800 number, so this might be the great solution. And to get an 800 number for $14 a month, that's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they're very expensive, 800 numbers. Like one thing that they offer you that Skype doesn't, phone calls to anywhere, anyone always go through. Okay, so it's a BS thing. Look more important and professional. I don't know. It's a little iffy, those things, because who's determining that? But you do get a lot of features, and I do like the service. It's called Line 2. You can go to line2.com to get information about it. And that's my pick.
Cool.
We'll see you next week. Remember to check us out at gfqnetwork.com. Also, our live shows at gfqlive.tv. We have everything posted on our website. You can go there anytime. Following this show, we are taking a little break, and then we are coming back with the free-for-all with Coco and I. No Spencer today, though. Spencer is away. But we'll have something interesting for you guys. We'll talk about my brownie incident. We'll see you all next week on Tech News Weekly. Good night, everybody.